Welcome back to Hobby Shop 1982, presented by page 121. Today we're going to take a look at a ship I spent a lot of time on in the early 80s, and even a little since then. So, while I was getting over the loss of Spock at the end of Star Trek II Wrath of Khan, and listening to David Bowie Modern Love on the radio, I was also enjoying Azhanti High Lightning. This is the original box set. It was published in 1980. We acquired it in early 82. This is not actually the copy I played on back then. This is one I picked off eBay about 20 years ago. Pretty battered, but I love it. My original GM in Traveler is the one that owned a copy of this. So we're going to take a look inside here, what this box was all about, why it was so special, and why, when minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, we were willing to pay $15 for this beast. Today, Hobby Shop 1982 on page 121. So you walk into the hobby store, you've got some money burning a hole in your pockets. Maybe if you're younger, you just got some birthday money or graduation money. Maybe if you're older, you just got paid. Either way, you've got some cash on you. You go in and you browse the shelves and you look at something you've been looking at for the last couple of years. And you say, you know what? I've looked long enough. I'm going to buy it. And you plunk your money down on Azanti High Lightning, Traveler Adventure aboard an Imperial Starship. This is published in 1980. One of Traveler's game box sets. I'm going to turn it over. This copy I got, as I said, on eBay. And it's battered. I admit it. But I love it. This is just nice. Inside we got the 14, count them, 14 full color deck plans. This thing is huge. 240 cut out counters for Adventurers and Defenders, the rules booklet, and the ever popular supplement. This was supplement 5. The only place you could get supplement 5 was in this box set. So for completists like me, that was a big thing. I got this as part of a phenomenal eBay batch. It was a lot listing. I got it in about 1999 or 2000, and just got a tremendous amount of good stuff out of here. This was actually one of the least things out of that set. It was a really good lot. Among the other things I got were Mega Traveler 4, issue 4, with the Lords of Thunder, and I'm trying to remember some of the other stuff, but it was a really good lot. So we're going to take a look inside the box, pop the lid off, and we're going to see that there's the supplement number 5 and the Azanti High Lightning rules book. This was played much like Snapshot, but it was a little slower than Snapshot. You got 6 action points, and you had to write down your actions, and your character could do various things with the action points, which was great. But the problem was it tended to slow down a lot. So what we ended up doing was just using Snapshot with these rules, or with these deck plans, and it worked out very well. There's some nice advanced rules in here. I'll go through the book a little bit more. I don't want to blow through all this. I did actually play the rules as written back in the early 80s with my original Traveler GM, and I did like it, but I thought that Snapshot flowed better. So the game design is credited to Frank Allen Chadwick and Mark W. Miller. So, and this was the Azanti High Lightning was Traveler game number 3, and it was published, as I said, in 80. So, what you could do is you could take this game here, just like the other games, and you could integrate it with your Traveler role-playing game. So you would end up with a kind of a hybrid situation where you could be doing tabletop tactical play as part of your role-play, which is what we use Snapshot for. This was much the same idea. And you've got your little markings. I'm going to pull out the chits here. Here, do I have a couple? This is unpunched, except for time has punched it, and there's not much you can do about that. So on the front of the chit, we'll use this guy here, T1. He's some kind of alien. And then you flip it over, and on the back of the chit, you had his various stats that were important to the game. It was a good way to keep track of what your guy couldn't do. And of course, they're always beautiful. I always liked these chits from Game Designer's Workshop. But you would move your guy in any way you wanted. He could move to the front, to the side, to the rear. And it's a lot like Snapshot. I'm not going to go into a ton of the actual way this game played, simply because we did play it, but it was not one that grabbed us and said, okay, we got to play this. We used Snapshot for that, and I understand what they were doing with this. They wanted kind of a variant to Snapshot. But in this game, you had to kind of write down what each and every one of you guys was doing, so that then when you revealed it, you could show that you weren't reacting to what your opponent did. And we felt that really slowed things down. So just looking at the book, it's a beautiful Traveler LBB from back in the day. These are the general rules, very similar to Snapshot. Not much difference at all, really. As far as the flavor goes, the actual mechanics are different. But as I said, I'm not going to dwell a ton on this. This is more of an overview of the box today than anything else. So we're going to take a look back here. And it's just more notes. Not a lot of artwork in the old Traveler stuff. Which, again, a little disappointing. But hey. And now, this definitely was worth getting. This is Supplement 5, the Lightning Class Cruisers. This actually showed you how to use these Lightning Class, the Azhanti High Lightning ships in your Traveler game. So we've got the stats for it in here. And again, as I said, Supplement 5 you can only get here. And again, this is copyright 1980, of course. And then we get the introduction to the 60,000-ton vessels designed and constructed using High Guard rules, and gives you what the Azanti High Lightnings were and their place as basically frontier cruisers for the Imperium. It was a fleet intruder. The Azanti High Lightning class were among the few ships of the day below Capital class to incorporate a mace on screen. So they're not streamlined. They can't go down to the planet. They need ship's boats for that. They can't fuel themselves. They either have to be fueled in orbit, or if it's a wilderness refueling, they have to use parasite vessels to do that. But these are really nice. They saw action in the Soleimani Rim War. I like this class. What I like about it is that it's 60,000 tons, which was something we didn't have a lot of in Traveler yet. I realized with High Guard you could make your own. And here's a roster of all the ships in the High Lightning class. So we start with the Azanti High Lightning, and then get the Silean High Lightning. And this is first when it's laid down and its first flight, where it was built, which yards, and any kind of notes on it. So this is pretty cool. I liked this. This is a lot of nice Traveler history right here. And then we get some of the fates of some of the vessels. Some of the vessels saw service, different actions and things like that. We got it called out here. And now we get some of the statistics on it as the fleet intruder, and then the tankers and auxiliaries that are with it, and then the deck arrangements. So this would be how you would use the decks. Going to be getting to the decks in a moment. Wow, these are just, I love the detail of Traveler. I always have. It's one of the things that's kept me in the game for so long. There we go. So we get a nice look at all the decks in the book here, a la the older Traveler stuff. And then we're just about out of the decks. And then we take a look at the small craft. The fuel shuttle, as I was discussing, this vessel is not streamlined. It can't fuel itself in wilderness refueling situations. So it does have a fuel shuttle. Having this ship to mount High Guard for you would be a very good thing to have. And then it talks about the refueling procedures. Just a lot of nice detail in these books. These books are available, and this game is available through Mark Miller's Far Futures Enterprises site on CD-ROM or thumb drive. We get a nice little Azanti High Lightning cheat sheet, what your action points can do, what they cost you. 2 points to walk forward, 3 points to go diagonally. You want to open a door. You open or close an iris valve is 2 action points. Break down a door is 6. So, again, it's a lot like Snapshot, a kissing cousin, if you will. And now, to the decks we've all been waiting for. This was the reason I was so excited when I got this, and this is the reason we liked it. My buddy and I liked it so much when we played it. When we played it back in the day, because these deck plans were very detailed. This was not a common thing yet. There were some coming out, certainly, and Traveler was pretty much the foreground for these. But the idea of a ship this size with 14 decks, or 14 deck plans rather, these are all big versions of what we just saw in the book. These actually still work with some of the smaller miniatures I have. I have some of the Traveler 15mm figures. I actually trotted this out not terribly long ago, a couple of years ago, and used it in an adventure as the ship's deck, or the deck plan, with the figures on here as the game board. This is one thing that I would love Mongoose to start looking at. I love their scale. I love what they do, but I wouldn't mind if they published some deck plans that were also part of, or playable game boards, so that we could actually use them as game boards and not just as eye candy. Much as I love looking at deck plans, and I do, we usually play a 3-hour window. I don't have time to pull them out and let everybody ooh and ah over the deck plans. We have to get the game going. So this is the Crew's Quarters deck. I'm just going to blow through each of the decks just to show you what they are and why this is such a nice thing. If you saw the series of videos I did on the FASA deck plans, I mean, these are more of the same. These are just beautiful. This is the bridge itself. Done a lot of fighting, a lot of actions up here on the bridge. Just so good. Alrighty, here we go. Deck plan 5. We're in the cargo hold. Not much to see in the cargo hold, but you can place physical things there to simulate the filled cargo hold, and then it becomes quite a good little battleground. Alright, now we're on the gunnery deck. Lots and lots and lots of guns on the Azhanti High Lightning. Get a few of these out. There we go. There we go. The power plant deck, this is the upper level. So if you're looking for Scotty, he's around here somewhere. And the power plant deck, lower level. I always regretted not buying this off the shelf when it was available back in the day, simply because there is so much to enjoy on this. When my buddy quit playing Traveler, I bought almost all of his stuff, but he did hold on to this, and I never did know what happened to it. I never did find out what he did with it. I have a feeling he was going to school at the time. I have a feeling that he ended up selling it or giving it to somebody at school. I always kind of regretted that I didn't get my hands on this early in the 80s, but was delighted to get it when I did. And I've had it for over 20 years now, so I guess I can't complain. Here's the main weapon deck. I like that these are in color as well. Nice bold colors that jump out at you. There we go. This is the flight crew deck, which is always a good place to hang out. And I've only got a few more deck plans. Come on. Oh, it's so hard to get out of the box sometimes. There we are. Deck plan 11. Come on. Well, this one's being real difficult. There we are. The hangar deck for how you route your ships. And all this is called out in the little booklets, as I just said. So it's just, the role-playing here is just tremendous. And as I said, I still use these, just like I use the FASA deck plans. I just use smaller figures with them, and it works out just fine. The jump drive deck. I always like me a good jump drive. What a great place to sabotage the ship. Deck plan number 13 coming up. Which is the boat docking deck. And then last but not least, here we are, the small craft that are associated with it. So we got the Rampart place, the single place fighter, a gunboat, another Rampart fighter, and then the fuel shuttle. So it's just, these were really nice, just like the FASA deck plans. Oh, this even has the Game Designers Workshop, their little customer survey chart. So there you go. I like when I find out that I still have stuff like that after all these years. As I said, this was a $15 investment then. That would translate to really close to $50 now. So actually proportionate to time. Gaming has not increased all that much. It just seems like it. Sticker shock like everything else. But this was worth it. Even if you can only get the PDF of this from Mark Miller, this is worth reading. This book, the rules are okay. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not knocking them. I just like Snapshot better. I like the Lightning Class Cruiser Supplement number 5. I enjoy that, and it's good reading. It's some of the best Traveler reading around there. I always thought it was interesting that they built a ship, laid out these deck plans for a 60,000 ton displacement ship, and to have you doing nothing but fighting aboard it. I realized that, of course, you're fighting in the game and everything with it, but they have the deck plans like this, and the principle of the game is to go ahead and just basically fight off raiders is aboard your own ship. Is kind of interesting. They could have expanded a lot more beyond that, but it was 1980. Everybody was still learning the way. So I hope you enjoyed this little time slip back to 1982, when you might have bought this off the shelf and then gone home and read it while you had silver spoons playing in the background. So that's really it for today for Hobby Shop 1982 from page 121. I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I'll see you next time.